Dilson, chance here, must score, he's missed it. Lloyd Williams, still a chance, it just won't go in. Roberts, yes! It's gone in, Graham Roberts. What delight! Over it comes and it's gone in. It's Brian Hughes who's equalised with 14 minutes to go. He could well have saved Wrexham from embarrassment. Welcome to the Racecourse ground, Wrexham, where the first tie between Colwyn Bay and Wrexham ended a goal apiece 10 days ago. That game had a bit of everything. If tonight's is half as exciting, we're in for another memorable encounter. Later on, we'll be showing brief highlights of a tough cup tie involving Swansea City. They're away in a replay to 2nd Division Bristol City at Ashton Gate. But first to this eagerly awaited North Wales derby, and Colwyn Bay once more hoping to cause an upset at the Racecourse. The main team news concerning Wrexham is that Andrew Marriott, the Welsh international goalkeeper, returns for his first game since breaking his jaw in 3 places against Bury just under a month ago. He's one of 2 changes from the side that lost and started the game at Brentford on Saturday, with Barry Jones in from the start in place of the injured Tony Humes. Graham Roberts there, who scored the Colwyn Bay goal in the first game, and he's the main team news concerning manager Bryn Jones. It's the same 11 who began that game 10 days ago. That means that Graham Roberts returns after injury and he resumes his partnership with Mark Lloyd Williams. Gareth Drury is the unlucky player. He scored a hat-trick on Saturday. Tonight, he's on the bench. And the referee once again this evening, as in the first game, is Terry Lunt. Well, Wrexham were losing 2-0 at Brentford in the league on Saturday, only their 2nd league defeat of the season. Colwyn Bay emphatically defeated Frickley Athletic 5-0 in the Unibond League, and of course this fixture always brings back memories of Colwyn Bay's famous 3-1 Welsh Cup victory at this very ground in 1992. Change of colours for this replay, of course, despite the fact that the first game was here at the Racecourse. It was technically Colwyn Bay's home tie. So tonight Wrexham revert to their red and white shirts rather than the all-white kit in that 1-1 draw. And Colwyn Bay starting this game in a positive frame of mind. An early touch for Gary McGosh, but little comes of that pass, and a first touch for Andy Marriott back in the Wrexham goal. Cal Connolly's beaten in the air. Roberts again, just the touchdown, looking for Dilson. Offside this time against Mark Lloyd Williams. Morris battling away, drops for Skinner. Challenging back was Harley. Long hopeful ball, forces Barry Jones into the header, and he finds Peter Ward, who brings Phil Hardy into play to Russell. Ward has continued his run. Connolly, not where Phil Hardy wanted the ball, and Peter Ward had made a forward run from midfield but wasn't found by Cal Connolly. Gary McGosh with a throw towards Rigby. Rigby closely watched by Russell. Ball knocked forward by Glenn Graham, given away. Russell. Now then, the chase is on here between Price and Morris. Price hurried into the clearance, really. Throw is quickly taken, dead embrace. Morris awaits for the cross. It comes though towards Brian Hughes. It's away though by Neil Rigby. Barry Jones, Morris, Russell, Phil Hardy again giving support down this left flank. Not the best ball in the world, and Wrexham though get a throw. Connolly, Russell makes a run. Phil Hardy too. Connolly maintains possession. Dangerous ball, again it's cleared. Roberts, lovely touch by Roberts. Now then, what can Colwyn Bay do here on the break? It's Dilson, has Lloyd Williams with him. Williams now to run at Ryan Carey. Williams goes one way, goes the other, deflection. First real shot on goal. Mark Lloyd Williams received the ball. Wrexham were backpedaling, caught on the break, and Lloyd Williams, well, could well have set up one of his fellow players. Phil Hardy to Morris. Morris tried to bring Kevin Russell into play. Harley has time. Again, forcing the Wrexham defenders to turn and chase. Graham Roberts putting pressure on Dead Embrace. Andy Marriott has time to clear high and long. Good back header by Steve Morris. He was fouled in the process. Mark Price, who was outstanding in the first game, disagrees. Wrexham free kick. Russell wastes little time. Phil Hardy. Russell again wanting to take on the responsibility. Good run from Brian Hughes. That's a lovely ball. It could be the opening goal. Oh, that was a superb through ball by Kevin Russell. Credit Brian Hughes as well for the run. Seemingly had done the difficult task, but side netting a let-off for Colwyn Bay. It's a lovely ball by Kevin Russell. Waited well for the opportunity. Brian Hughes away from the defender. Angle was difficult, but maybe should have scored. That embrace. Skinner ahead of him, so too is Brian Hughes. Plays it forward for Connolly. And a miscued clearance by Price forces Richie Roberts out of his goal. He'll have to rush back. That embrace as we approach the half-hour mark, still goalless. Plenty of tension, but Wrexham not really threatening. Craig Skinner could change that though. Header comes in from Morris. The angle was difficult, and Morris just couldn't direct it out of the reach of Richie Roberts and into the net. Fuller. Carey has to make this ball his. Phil Hardy. Morris. Touches a poor one. Connolly retrieves the situation. Connolly again. Ignored Kevin Russell. That embrace, according to Connolly, was in a better position. Brace continues his run. Skinner. Hughes. Towards Morris. Fuller is there. Not the best touch in the world. Shot comes in. Driven in by Dead Embrace. Richie Roberts in the right position. Held it at the second attempt. No foul by Cal Connolly, says the referee. Getting the better of Gary McGosh. Hardy. Russell. Rigby battling terrier-like to stop Kevin Russell, but he gets the ball out to Dead Embrace. Brace. One way. Lovely cross looking for Connolly. Connolly just didn't touch the ball. And it allows Colwyn Bay through Lee Harley to clear. Again looking for Lloyd Williams, but it's a poor ball. Straight to Carey. Offside given against Steve Morris again. And Embrace plays the ball forward towards Connolly. Connolly. Skinner. Connolly again. Harley's there. Connolly still battling away. Gets support in the end from Skinner. That Embrace. Brace, one of his surging runs, and he's fouled, I think, by Dave Fuller. And this will be a free kick in a dangerous position. I think it was the pace of Dead Embrace which just surprised Dave Fuller, committed to the challenge. It's the third booking of the game. Graham Roberts is receiving treatment. The Colwyn Bay player is off the field, but it's a dangerous free kick here. Peter Ward, no doubt, will try and conjure something up from here. In he comes. And he scored some spectacular goals, but looked far from convincing on that occasion. Colwyn Bay have made life very difficult for Wrexham, denied them space, denied them opportunities. Russell trying to gain a corner. Still battling away, Kevin Russell. Wins a throw. Takes it quickly. Morris. Ward wants the ball. Morris as well to get the ball back towards Skinner. Skinner, that Embrace goes outside him. Skinner goes by himself. Skinner drives the ball across, and it's in the back of the net. The ball has been touched in, but Craig Skinner seems to be claiming it. And I think Brian Hughes could well have got the final touch. And just stroke of half-time, in injury time really, as some of the Colwyn Bay players asked the referee to look at his watch, Wrexham have taken the lead. And it was Craig Skinner really, away from Dave Fuller, drove that ball across, and I think the final touch came in off Brian Hughes. So Brian Hughes' goal is virtually the last kick of that first half. A disappointing first half overall. Colwyn Bay had seemingly held their own, seemingly held out until the interval, but then on the stroke at half-time, that goal from Brian Hughes could well have changed the complexion of this game. Half-time here at the Racecourse then is Wrexham 1, Colwyn Bay 0. So Wrexham will be boosted by that goal just before the interval, created by the man on the ball now, Craig Skinner. Strong challenge as well from Skinner. And I wonder what Brian Flynn told his players during the interval. Certainly some determination about them. A second goal could well kill this game off. But Colwyn Bay, well, they proved in the first game that they have the ability to trouble Wrexham. Here's one player who could do that. Gareth Drury, the substitute, on for the injured Graham Roberts. Good cross. Drury scored a hat-trick on Saturday against Frickley. One would be enough this evening, I'm sure. He has possession. Good cross, too close though to Andy Marriott. Marriott has only really been troubled once in his comeback game. Deflected shot from Mark Williams. Glenn Graham heads clear, Dulson heads on. Hope for a ball forward to Steve Morris. Richie Roberts did ever so well to read the situation. That could be a spectacular effort by Brian Hughes, but again it was good defending by Colwyn Bay. I think it was Glenn Graham who got back there. That would have been spectacular. Connolly, lovely touch though, looking for Morris as Wrexham aim to settle this game once and for all. Exciting piece of action there involving Richie Roberts and Brian Hughes. Morris just couldn't control the ball. Colwyn Bay clear, only as far as Ward. Phil Hardy. Still Colwyn Bay showing their battling qualities. Drury. Good ball inside, looking for Dulson. Harley, Donnelly, this is good football. Dulson. Good cross to the far side to Mark Lloyd-Williams. Best move of the game as far as Colwyn Bay are concerned. And they need more of that if they're to get back into this game. Good challenge as well, that might have lifted them. This is better, this is more like the cup tie of 10 days ago. Phil Hardy's clearance. Magosh wins the challenge in the air. Magosh. Connolly battling away and was fouled by Rigby. Relief for Wrexham. Skinner has some space down this right-hand side, the Wrexham right, to run at Fuller. No one's gone with him. Brian Hughes is infield. Deryn Brace coming up in support now. Skinner still going. Touched by Connolly is not a particularly good one, but it forced Donnelly into a clearance. Deryn Brace with his throw. Skinner back to Brace. Brace. Looking for Morris. Russell. The drop here for Morris. Dulson is stronger in the challenge. Now then, his attempt was to play the ball to Drury. Now Drury might get a chance here. It's over Carey. Lloyd-Williams is battling away. Good challenge by Carey, but he's lost possession. Lloyd-Williams, I'm not quite sure what he was attempting to do there. He saw Donnelly come up in support. That was neither a shot nor a cross really in the end, and that was definitely an opportunity wasted. Certainly Mark Lloyd-Williams had an opportunity to create something earlier there for Colwyn Bay. Hughes, Donnelly's with him. Skinner has made a run. Hughes has ignored him, to his cost, because Fuller now has possession. Dave Fuller, trying to release Mark Lloyd-Williams. Carey's with him, down goes Lloyd-Williams. No foul, says the referee. Carey sticks to his defensive duties, gives the ball away to Harley. Harley just touches it to Donnelly. Donnelly spotted Rigby. Rigby's been quiet in this second half. Rigby wasted. Neil Rigby had the confidence to go for goal, maybe wishes he hadn't. Midway point in this second half, still 1-0 to Wrexham. And one has to say that the ball has spent a lot more time in the air during this particular game than it did 10 days ago. Constructive football has been at a premium. And again, it's just up in the air. And this time, Brian Hughes is penalised for the challenge on Fuller. Dave Fuller then with his free kick as Gareth Dury makes his way to the edge of the penalty area. But it's too close to Marriott. Skinner. Immediately Dawson comes to close him down. Finds Morris. Morris with Price. Morris gets away from his marker for once. Tries to find Connolly. Drops nicely for Ward. Last season that would have found the back of the net. But Richie Roberts wasn't troubled then by Peter Ward. And Steve Watkin, who made his name in this competition with the winner for Wrexham against Arsenal in that memorable victory back in '92 in the third round, is to come on as substitute for Steve Morris. Watkin is at his own request on the transfer list at the Racecourse, so has an opportunity to prove a point or two this evening. Dury jumps, is beaten by Carey. Price, away again by Carey. Russell. Connolly. Then looking for support down that left-hand side. Hardy to Russell. Russell. Connolly tries to get away from Price. Graham stood off. Connolly. Away by Fuller. An important header, goal-saving header by Dave Fuller, concedes the corner. Watkin was hovering, hoping to settle this game for Wrexham. So it's Craig Skinner with this corner. Brian Carey's made his way into the penalty area. Up goes Carey now, he's beaten in the air. Now then, Watkin has time and space here. Free header, and it's hooked in by Brian Hughes, his second goal, and surely with 9 minutes to go that has sealed victory for Wrexham and ensures a game in the next round against Scunthorpe. It was Watkin who had the ball on the right hand side from the initial corner by Craig Skinner. He looked up, it was played across, a header across goal and a back heel, well, a cheeky goal by Brian Hughes. No chance for Richie Roberts. Brian Hughes' second goal, and he deserves it. He's been Wrexham's best player. Less than 5 minutes to go, and Wrexham in the end will emerge as comfortable winners, one would imagine. Colwyn Bay have certainly made life difficult for them over the 2 games. Forward again by Rigby. Mark Lloyd-Williams will chase and chase. Forces Phil Hardy into the clearance. Russell to Ward. Brian Hughes. That embrace. Skinner's made a run. Wasn't spotted by Brace. Ward. Kevin Russell. Wrexham now just taking the sting out of the game. They feel they're through to the next round. They're just keeping the ball, making Colwyn Bay run and work for possession. Watkin. And Price sticking close to him. Watkin trying to go by himself. Fuller was back. Good defending by Fuller. And he found Skinner though. Hughes. Another hat-trick. Hughes. That's a second opportunity at the cross towards Russell. This should be free. Great save. Great save by Richie Roberts. That looked a certain third goal all the way. But the goalkeeper, a fine reaction save. Brilliant, really. Ball was just played in by Brian Hughes, had a second opportunity. And there was Kevin Russell setting himself up for a goal. Brilliant reaction save by the goalkeeper. Donnelly. Dulson chased by Russell. Away by Barry Jones to Fuller. Floyd Williams tries to get the better of Deryn Brace. Referee looks at his watch. And Colwyn Bay, despite a valiant effort, a gallant effort, they're on their way out of this season's FA Cup competition. Far from disgrace though, caused problems. Who knows, could yet get a goalless. Dangerous cross. Donnelly steaming in, but Marriott was there first. And that's the last kick of this game. It's Wrexham who are through as winners by 2-0. But over 2 games, made to battle extremely hard by Colwyn Bay, who could well feel that they lost their opportunity. Brian Hughes is the hero. His goals, one on the stroke of half-time maybe, settled this game. And that was the killer blow. The goal just before the interval, sealed it with a cheeky back heel. So it's Wrexham who march through into the next round. They'll play Scunthorpe here a week on Saturday at the Racecourse in the second round of the FA Cup. Final score here as Colwyn Bay enjoy the applause from their support of around 1,000 to the far side. They will have benefited enormously financially, but Colwyn Bay are out, Wrexham are through. Final score at the Racecourse this evening, Wrexham 2, Colwyn Bay 0. Well, Andy, Wrexham through to the next round of the Cup, but Colwyn Bay certainly made life hard for you over the 2 games.
They did, yeah. I mean, they gave us a really good game, first game, and the second game they didn't give anything away. We scrapped all the way for it, but we're just delighted really for a club like Wrexham. It's a very important FA Cup run, so we're just delighted to be playing Scunthorpe in the next round.
I mean, I suppose the breakthrough came just before half-time, really, with the goal from Brian Hughes. I
suppose, ironically, it was probably an injury time, so they'll feel a little bit disappointed that we've scored in stoppage time, but it was a great goal from Yozza. It was probably one of the best pieces of football that was played in the game. Pleased for him to score a couple of goals, and great because it sort of made sure the pressure was off us a little bit. Once you're in front, the pressure's off, whereas at 0-0 we were always sort of a bit nervous and hoping that we weren't going to concede one.
The first game was very memorable, very exciting. Maybe people were expecting too much. This game never really reached the same heights, did it? Although it was hard fought. Yeah,
I think possibly people were expecting maybe the same game, but we knew we had to do a professional job, and we went out there and we did that. It didn't need to be all glory for us. It was just a simple case of getting the goals and getting ourselves into the next round. That's what we did. There was no sort of nothing fancy about it, and we're quite happy with that.
Bryn, disappointment in the end after 2 close games?
Well, 1 close game. Yeah, we didn't cause them too many problems tonight in forward areas. Having said that, I didn't think they caused us a great deal of trouble, you know, scoring wise. Once we lost Graham Roberts, we lose a lot as a force going forward. But our second half performance was better. But over the 2 games, I feel we've done very well.
How disappointed were you to concede the goal in injury time in the first half?
Well, as he says, you can't think of a worse time to concede a goal. But I was pleased with us in so much as we did better second half. We played the game throughout for the 90 minutes, which is what it's all about. And we played better football in the second half without causing them too many problems. But we were a lot better second half.
Welsh squad for Turkey's announced on Friday. Is it too early yet for Andrew Marriott to be considered?
I'd like to think not, but obviously that decision's down to Bobby. I've done all that I can. I've played a game, proved that I've got my fitness back, and hopefully now it's all up to Bobby. If he picks me, I'll be delighted. If not, I'll just work even harder and make sure I get back in the next one.
And on the club scene, looking forward to another good cup run.
Yes, I think that's the important thing in terms of finance. We desperately need a good cup run. It sets you up for 2-3 seasons afterwards. And in terms of promotion, it could be just the springboard that we need.
So there we are then. Wrexham go through to the second round of the FA Cup, where they'll play Scunthorpe at this ground a week on Saturday.